US unleashes new Super A10 Warthog in Israel and Yemen after top-secret testing. The historical conflict between Israel and Hamas, which began on October 7th, involves airstrikes, ground invasions, hostage-taking, and the potential for global escalation. When conflicts arise with America's allies, the question of the A-10 Warthog's involvement often surfaces due to a long-standing rivalry with other American aircrafts. The F-35 Lightning II, considered the most adaptable and intelligent fighter globally, competes for the title of the most deadly airborne force. In contrast, the A-10 offers unparalleled close air support. The A-10 versus F-35 competition may find a resolution in the Israel-Hamas War, where these two competitors vie for supremacy in close air support. Join us today as we explore the features of the A-10 Warthog, an aircraft that is sure to leave you stunned. After the Second World War, the progress of attack aircrafts with conventional weaponry, attention shifted towards delivering nuclear weapons using supersonic fighters like the McDonnell F-101 Voodoo and Republic F-105 Thunderchief. When the US Army entered the Vietnam War, the primary attack aircraft, the Douglas A-1 Skyraider from the Korean War, proved too susceptible to ground fire due to its screw design. Faced with limited options, the Air Force research team recommended developing an affordable, specialized close air support aircraft with capabilities matching or surpassing its predecessor, the A-1 Skyraider, and contemporary attack helicopters of that era. In September 1966, this idea was reinforced by the Chief of Staff of the USAF, General John P. McConnell, who ordered the development of the CAS aircraft, and by December of that same year, the Requirements Action Directive for the AX-CAS aircraft was presented to the Office of the Attack Experimental, or AX, in 1970. In 1970, the US Air Force slightly changed their requirements, issuing a more specific request for proposal, or RFP, for the future device. For example, the service took into account the potential threat from the Soviet armed forces and the possibility of carrying out all-weather offensive operations. Additionally, the requirements included a 30mm rotary cannon, a top speed of 460 miles per hour, or 400 knots, takeoff distance of 4,000 feet, an external load of 16,000 feet, flight rate radius of 285 miles, and the cost of one aircraft at about $1.4 million, equivalent to about $10 million today. The AX program aimed to produce the first USAF aircraft exclusively designed for close air support. To enhance its effectiveness, a parallel request for proposal was issued for a 30mm cannon with a minimum rate of fire of 4,000 rounds per minute. Some humorously suggest that this is one of those aircrafts constructed around a cannon. Proposals from 6 companies were submitted to the Air Force, leading to the selection of the main contenders: the YA-9A attack aircraft by Northrop and the YA-10A by Fairchild Republic. The task of creating the cannon was assigned to specialists from General Electric and Philco Ford. The first 2 YA-10A prototypes rolled out of the Republic plant in Farmdale, New York, and in May of 1972, pilot Howard Sam Nelson took to the skies for the first time. The conclusive clash between the YA-9A and the YA-10A in January 1973 concluded with a victory for the latter. Serial production of the A-10 commenced in February of 1976, and the initial attack aircraft was officially accepted by the Air Force Tactical Air Command the subsequent month. The assembly line maintained an accelerated pace, ensuring a minimum output of 13 aircrafts per month, resulting in over 715 Warthogs, comprising 2 prototypes and 6 prototypes, delivered to the US Air Force by 1984. The A-10 boasts exceptional low speed and altitude maneuverability, attributed to its wing area, low wing angle, and sizable ailerons. The wing design facilitates short takeoffs and landings, enabling operations from rudimentary airfields in close proximity to the front line. The aircraft can remain airborne or linger at 5,000 feet for approximately 2 hours, and the addition of a 600-gallon external fuel tank extends this duration by another hour. Utilizing honeycomb leading-edge panel construction offers strength with minimal weight. Similar panels cover the flaps, elevators, and keel sections, showcasing high efficiency in combat operations and notable resistance to damage. Sheathing panels integrated with stringers are produced using computer processing, significantly reducing both production time and cost. Ailerons positioned at the far ends of the wings enhance the roll moment, covering almost half of the wingspan of the A-10. This design improves control, especially at lower speeds, and these split ailerons double as air brakes, functioning as decelerons. With a lower cruising speed of approximately 340 miles per hour or 300 knots, the Warthog proves more adept at ground attack than the high-speed fighter bombers of its time, making it easier to target small and slow enemy objects. Maintenance, refueling, and rearming of the Warthog demand minimal equipment. Its straightforward design enables maintenance even on bases with limited capacity. Notably, many parts are interchangeable between the left and right sides, such as engines, main landing gear, and vertical stabilizers. Enhanced by robust landing gear, low-pressure tires, and large straight wings, the aircraft can take off from short, uneven runways, even when carrying a substantial ordnance load. This capability allows it to utilize damaged air bases, taxiways, or even straight stretches of highways, an advantageous option, perhaps, in the case of an apocalypse. Moreover, at forward air bases and similarly hazardous runways, there's a significant likelihood of aircraft engine damage from foreign objects. The A-10 addresses this concern with its distinctive arrangement of TF34GE100 turbofan engines from General Electric. This configuration minimizes the risk of foreign object ingestion, enabling them to remain operational during maintenance and re-equipment by ground crews, thus reducing turnaround time. The wings are positioned closer to the ground for simplified maintenance and rearmament processes. Ensuring robust support for the engines of the heavy attack aircraft is crucial. The TF34GE100 pylons connect to the airframe via 4 bolts, and a notable 6:1 bypass ratio contributes to maintaining a relatively modest infrared signature. The engine's positioning directs the exhaust over the tail, adding an extra layer of protection against infrared homing surface-to-air missiles. Engine exhaust nozzles are angled to counteract the nose-down pitching moment that would naturally occur from being mounted above the aircraft's center of gravity, eliminating the need to adjust control surfaces to prevent pitching. A standout feature of the Warthogs is their remarkable survivability. This battle-tested attack aircraft can withstand direct hits from armor-piercing and high-explosive fragmentation shells of up to 23 millimeters in caliber. Titanium armor, in the form of plates ranging from 0.5 to 1.5 inches thick, shields the cockpit and essential control system components. These components weigh 1,200 pounds, nearly 6% of the A-10's total empty weight. A multi-layer nylon splinter shield covers any internal surface in direct contact with the pilot, safeguarding against projectile fragments. The windshield and cockpit canopy are also reliably protected from small arms fire. Engineers prioritize shielding the fuel system from enemy fire impact. All 4 tanks are positioned closer to the aircraft's center and separated from the fuselage. This arrangement requires projectiles to penetrate the aircraft's skin before reaching the outer skin of the fuel tanks. If all 4 main tanks are lost, 2 self-sealing sump tanks supply fuel for an additional 230 miles. In the event of hydraulic failure, the aircraft features a dual hydraulic flight system with a mechanical backup. In the absence of hydraulic power during flight, a manual reverse control system is utilized. Tilt and roll control activate automatically, while the pilot selects roll control in manual mode. The A-10 is maneuverable enough for a smooth return to base, although the pilot may need to exert a bit more effort than usual. The aircraft's design accommodates emergency situations, enabling it to fly with just 1 engine, half of the tail, 1 elevator, and half of the wing. The Warthog showcased its survivability in April of 2003, when Captain Kim Campbell, flying over Baghdad, faced serious damage from anti-aircraft artillery fire. Despite a damaged engine and a disabled hydraulic system, Campbell piloted the plane for about an hour and executed a safe landing. Good karma played a role, but it's even more impactful when paired with a lethal cannon. The primary weapon of the A-10 is the GAU-8 Avenger, among the most potent aircraft guns, firing armor-piercing projectiles the size of 1 beer bottle. Its distinctive brrr firing sound swiftly became the signature feature of the Warthog. Initially, the gun's design allowed the pilot to modify it, leading to a variable rate of fire ranging from 2,100 to 4,200 rounds per minute. However, this later stabilized at 3,900 rounds per minute. The gun took approximately half a second to reach its maximum speed, resulting in 50 shots fired in the first second, and later maintaining a rate of about 65 to 70 shots per second. Remarkably, its accuracy allowed for 80% of shots to hit within a circle measuring about 40 feet in diameter, while at a height of 4,000 feet. The GAU-8 enables the attack aircraft to effectively disable an opponent's main battle tanks. In the midst of Operation Desert Storm in 1991, American A-10s single-handedly obliterated over 900 Iraqi tanks, 2,000 other combat vehicles, and 1,200 artillery pieces. Reflecting on the jest about building an airplane around a cannon, it's worth noting that it significantly influenced the aircraft's design. The GAU-8 is mounted slightly on the port side, while the barrel at the firing point on the starboard side, aligning with the aircraft's center line. The ammunition drum, measuring 5 feet 11.5 inches, can house up to 1,350 30mm rounds. To shield the GAU shells from enemy fire, armor plates of varying thickness were inserted between the aircraft's skin and the drum, ensuring the detonation of incoming shells. The AGM-65 Maverick air-to-surface missiles play a crucial role in shielding the aircraft from anti-aircraft systems, which target objects through electro-optical or infrared radiation, hitting them from a much greater distance than the Avenger. During Operation Desert Storm, owing to the absence of dedicated forward infrared cameras for night vision, the Maverick infrared camera took on the role of night missions, serving as a makeshift FLIR. The A-10's arsenal is further enhanced by Hydra 70 cluster bombs, rocket pods, GPS and laser-guided bombs such as the GBU-39, paveway bombs, JDM, wind correction and munitions dispenser, and AGM-154 joint standoff weapons glide bombs. This iconic aircraft naturally undergoes modernization as well. The A-10 Precision Engagement Program, conducted from 2006 to 2010, upgraded all A-10s and A-10s to the A-10C standard. This upgrade involved installing a new onboard computer, glass displays, cockpit controls, 2 new 5.5-inch color displays with a moving map function, and a built-in digital stores management system. A notable addition to this is a system designed to alert the pilot of a missile attack, whether it's the launch of a friendly or enemy missile within the A-10C's range, alongside the Electric Warfare Unit, ALQ-184. Throughout their years of service, Warthogs were exclusively employed by the US Air Force, participating in missions across Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, the Persian Gulf War, the Balkans, and other military operations. In 2022, following the Russian invasion of Ukraine, senior US Air Force officials proposed that A-10s could enhance the effectiveness of Ukrainian soldiers against Russian armor. However, the focus soon shifted to F-16 fighters, and ongoing discussions about their supply continue to this day. The future of the A-10 remains uncertain. Initially, the US Air Force anticipated its service until 2028, planning to replace it entirely with a fleet of the latest Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II fighters. However, experts and critics argue that such a decision would mark a significant setback for the Air Force, given the A-10's commendable performance of the F-35. Presently, discussions revolve around decommissioning the Warthog no earlier than the 2030s. As a result, the formidable silhouette of the A-10 is likely to grace the sky on more than one occasion in the coming years. The recent deployment of American A-10 Warthog attack planes to the Middle East holds significant implications, particularly in the context of the United States providing these formidable aircrafts to Israel. The decision comes amid the escalating tensions between Israel and Hamas, with the Pentagon aiming to prevent the localized conflict from spiraling into a broader regional war. The A-10s, operated by airmen from the 354th Fighter Squadron at David Monthan Air Force Base, Arizona, represent a crucial component of the U.S. Central Command's strategy to bolster firepower in the region. These iconic aircrafts, known for their exceptional ground support capabilities, are joining the 75th Fighter Squadron's A-10s from Moody Air Force Base, Georgia, which were already stationed in the area. The move reflects the United States' unwavering support for Israel's defense, sending a clear message to any entity contemplating taking advantage of the conflict to escalate violence. The A-10's deployment is part of a broader effort that includes more advanced military aircrafts like the F-35 Lightning II, F-15 Eagle, and F-16 Fighting Falcon fighters, all aimed at deterring Iran and other militant groups from entering the fray. Warthogs have been a cornerstone of military operations in the U.S. Central Command for decades. Ground forces rely on the A-10s to strafe and bomb enemy tanks, armored vehicles, and targets, providing critical support for maneuvering in contested areas. Despite their effectiveness, the Air Force plans to retire the nearly 50-year-old A-10 fleet by the end of the decade, making room for more technologically advanced aircrafts. As these A-10s are deployed to discourage Iranian aggression, questions arise about the broader implications of the United States providing such an aircraft to Israel. The decision underscores the strategic importance of maintaining a robust defense posture in the region, considering Israel's geopolitical challenges and the complex dynamics of the Middle East. The deployment comes at a critical juncture, with ongoing diplomatic efforts, humanitarian concerns, and the evacuation of American citizens from Israel. The U.S. response goes beyond military measures, encompassing a multifaceted approach to address the evolving situation. The Forward Carrier Strike Group's movement into the Eastern Mediterranean as a precautionary measure indicates the comprehensive nature of the U.S. strategy. The carrier, flanked by cruisers and destroyers, adds a maritime component to the deterrence posture, showcasing the versatility of the American military's capabilities. Discussions around potential deployments of other aircraft types, such as intelligence planes, bombers, or aerial refueling tankers, highlight the adaptability of the U.S. forces to address evolving threats. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin's visit to Israel further reinforces the commitment to supporting Israel's defense, emphasizing the close partnership between the two nations. While the A-10s contribute to the immediate efforts to prevent further escalation, the broader question lingers about the future of these aircrafts and the U.S.'s commitment to Israel's defense beyond the current conflict. The geopolitical landscape remains complex, with implications extending beyond the immediate crisis. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell for more content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.